Kate here. I'm a crowdfunding launch coach with StartSomeGood, and this video is going to cover what it takes to create a great crowdfunding campaign. Even if you've never fundraised online before or you've never run a crowdfunder, this is going to give you a quick guide of the things that you need to consider in order to create a successful crowdfunding campaign. Now, each of the points I'm going to walk you through, we do a more in-depth video on. So this is more to give you just like an overall look at the pieces you're going to need to create in order to set up your crowdfunding campaign. So let's dive in. First of all, you're going to need a great story. Now, there are so many different ways in which you can tell your story, and I just want to give you a bit of a structure for a way in which you can start to organize your thoughts, because it's not necessarily about telling your prospective donors everything about what you do. Your job is not to inform them about your project, and this is where people go wrong a lot of the time. The job of your crowdfunding campaign is to help them decide whether or not they're going to donate. Informing them will be part of enabling them to make a good decision about whether or not to donate, but it's not the end game. Your end game is to help them decide. So, to do that with your story, you want to make sure that you're really clear about what you're doing. Give us a sense that we can start to imagine and really visualize what it is you're doing. Then tell us why you're doing it, because your why is the heartbeat of your campaign. It's your theory of change. It's the better future that you believe in, that you're creating, or rather co-creating with your donors. You, with your idea plus your donors plus their money, creates this incredible future. So paint that picture. Tell us why you're doing what you're doing. Third, you want to tell us about you. Tell us about your team and your experience, your credibility, and give us a sense of your capacity to actually run the project. Because we want to understand the people behind the project. It's really not just about the project, but getting to know you and like you and trust that you're going to do the right thing with your donors' money. Because people don't give money to people unless they trust them. So, tell us about you, tell us about your team, and why this is the right time for you to do what you're doing. Give us a sense of that immediacy, that now is the time. Fourth, you want to tell us how much money you need. So, what you're doing with that money, how much you need, what it's going to make possible. Give us a bit of a run through of how you're going to use the funds. Doesn't need to be an in-depth, itemized, line-by-line budget, but give us a sense that you've thought it through and you're really, again, clear about how you're going to spend that money. Finally, give us a call to action. Tell us what you want us to do. I mean, it might sound kind of obvious. They're on your crowdfunding campaign page. Don't you want them to donate? That might seem obvious to you, but it never hurts to really be super clear with that call to action. Please support us. Please donate. Please select a reward that suits your tastes and your budget, and it's going to help us bring this project into the world. Thank you for your support. So just to run through that real quick, what you're doing, why you're doing it, tell us who you are, how much money you need, and give us a call to action. So that's the basic structure of how to create a great crowdfunding story. We're going to move into the second thing that you want to consider now, which is video. Now, a lot of people feel a bit nervous at the prospect of creating a crowdfunding video, but do remember that the best videos aren't always the ones with the best production values. You don't need to go full Hollywood to make a really effective crowdfunding video. The main purpose of your video is to introduce yourself, to let your donors, your prospective donors, see you so they can get to know you, like you, and trust you. Remembering again that the purpose of your crowdfunding campaign is to help people decide whether or not to donate. And they need to trust you in order to give you a yes and to pull out their credit card. So even if the thought of being on video makes you a little bit nervous, I really encourage you to just go for it, even if it's just for a few seconds at the beginning. Show up on camera, or maybe you have a teammate who can show up. You can shoot these things on your smartphone. You don't need fancy equipment. It's really about telling your story. And again, the structure of your video can mirror the structure of your campaign story. Tell us what you're doing, why you're doing it, who you are, how much you need, and give us that call to action. Again, you can get fancy with your story structure and cool editing techniques. By all means, call it in if you've got people in your community that can do that. But it's absolutely not necessary to make an effective crowdfunding video. Finally, with your videos, you really want something that's short and sweet. So 1 to 2 minutes is best. Anything over 3 minutes, people will tend to tune out. So make it a nice and tight 1 to 2 minute video for your campaign. All right, so we've talked about story, we've talked about video. Third, you're going to want to pull together some rewards. And you want to make sure that those rewards are not only resonant with your campaign story, so that they really kind of relate to your theory of change and the future that you're creating with your campaign story. The reward needs to relate to that. But also, the rewards should be things that your prospective donors would enjoy. So, thinking a bit about the person who's pulling out their credit card, what kinds of rewards would be really meaningful and of interest to them that would suit their tastes and their values? Because the power of rewards, and we talk more about this in the deep dive on the reward video, but what rewards enable you to do is often enable your donors to donate more than they otherwise would, right? Because we're activating the shopping instinct. People, they want the reward that you're offering, and they're more than happy to give you the money for that. So great rewards on Start Some Good. You need a minimum of 3. We do go into more detail in the reward video, so go check that out. Finally, okay, so we've covered a great story, video, rewards. Finally, and maybe most importantly, you're going to need an outreach strategy. So, as I said in a previous video, 94% of people who come to crowdfunding sites do so as a direct result of that campaign's outreach. They're coming to that campaign because they read an email, they saw a Facebook post, they followed a link trail, and they ended up on your campaign because of a direct result of your marketing and outreach strategy. So, no point having a great story, great video, and sweet rewards if no one is looking at your campaign page. So, we do again do a deeper dive on this in the outreach strategy video. But for now, what you need to know is that you need one. You need a plan. You need a pre-launch plan, and you need a campaign plan. Ideally, you want more than just you, because I've run solo crowdfunders before, and my gosh, they're hard work. So, rally some friends, rally some colleagues, rally some volunteers to help you deliver your campaign while you're live, and make the biggest impact that you can with your story by getting your message out to the right people who believe in the same things that you believe. They resonate with your story. They resonate with your why, your theory of change. And they're willing and prepared and excited to co-partner with you, give you their money so that you can create that project and that big ripple of change in the world. So that's it for this video. Creating a great crowdfunding campaign, just in summary, requires a great story, video, rewards, and an outreach strategy. More information on all of those and some of the other videos. And if you've got any questions, as always, please feel free to reach out to us at support@startsomegood.com.